Hey, okay, let's talk the day of surgery. So my injury was on January the 13th, 2019. It was a Sunday, and my surgery date was on July 19th, 2019 on a Friday. This video is literally just gonna be my tips on surgery, how I felt, what happened, just little advices really, and preparing you emotionally for some tough stuff. Number one is take an overnight bag because you might have to stay in and it's better to be prepared. Include some cute pajamas and something to do. My surgery, although I was told to come in for 7:45 a.m, my surgery wasn't actually until maybe 12 o'clock. I was there for a long time with, well, nothing to do. I didn't mind waiting because I was just so desperate to have my surgery, but I would take a book to entertain yourselves. I would also recommend taking a small amount of cash because the surgeon told me that I could go to the canteen and get a coffee or whatever I wanted because my surgery wasn't going to be for a few hours, and I had no card or cash on me because I thought I was going to be going straight into surgery. So definitely take some cash. Another tip is have somebody take you to and from the hospital. Don't get a bus or anything like that. You need somebody to take you and pick you up. You will value that journey on the way home way more than you think, and hopefully they can bring you snacks. I was very hungry. In reflection, I would 100% say hydrate even more than you normally would 48 hours before surgery. Obviously don't have food or water like when you're not allowed to before surgery, so like they give you a time frame maximum at 6 a.m. But 48 hours beforehand, just drink so much water because the worst feeling is coming out of surgery dehydrated. Like you just feel like you can't get enough fluid on board. I would certainly recommend hydrating 48 hours before, which sounds really silly. It's like common sense, but I'm never hydrated, so maybe that's just me, but hydrate or die. The toughest piece of advice that I'm gonna suggest is mentally preparing yourself for cancellation. We wait so long for our appointments for surgery because of the waiting lists. My advice would be prepare yourself mentally until the very last minute that it might not happen. If, for example, something goes wrong with the surgery before yours, then they might have to cancel yours for whatever reason. You could literally be in the hospital waiting to have surgery and it not go ahead. Probably the most important piece of advice is mentally prepare yourself for it to be cancelled. Because I know that when they told me, oh, your surgery will be in 6 weeks, oh no, now it'll be 12 weeks, 6 months, 9 months, a year, that was mentally tough. You set a date and an expectation and then you change your plans and your goals around these dates. But honestly, mentally prepare yourself for it to be cancelled at the last minute, and then you'll be in a better position and you won't have to deal with being let down. And maybe that's the tough part. I would advise you to just be prepared, although be hopeful that it does go ahead and be positive. So then I had my operation, had my knee fixed, woohoo! It's supposed to be a really quick surgery, but I was actually in there for so much longer. Not sure why, never found out, but hey, here we are. After surgery, I was as high as a kite. I was on so many drugs, I was in shock that my knee was fixed. Honestly, I was looking at my leg in this hospital bed, like my knee has been fixed. Wow. Happy, sad, amazed, worried, nervous, all of those feelings I felt. I remember looking at my leg and thinking I hurt so much and I didn't really know what to do. I'd waited and waited and waited for the surgery, but I actually didn't prepare myself mentally for having surgery. So I was like wrapped in all these blankets. I had so many, must have been cold. Then I just looked at it and it was blue, and I just kept looking and I was like, I can't look underneath, I hurt that much, I don't want to see the scars, I can't look. I was coming around, like getting less high and back to reality, although I'm always high on life anyway. I looked under the blanket and it was all bandaged up anyway. My leg was huge. It was literally bigger than my head, and my head quite big. And it was just massive and it hurt so much and it was so swollen and it was pulsing because the blood was all in that area, and oh good lord, the pain. And then the nurse came over because she had to redress the dressing before you leave. So the dressing that you come out of surgery with, normally they change that and then send you home. She showed me the scars and they were actually amazing. I was honestly fascinated that they were so small. I could not believe it. Like it felt like my whole leg had been cut. It was tiny little incisions and it was amazing. And then they asked me to get up and I cried. I couldn't get up. I didn't know how to get up. I didn't have a brace on my leg. I was fully prepared for a brace after surgery. I became attached to my brace because it allowed me to do everything that I wanted within reason. I was told that I would have a brace after surgery to keep my legs straight. However, it is to your surgeon's discretion as to whether you have a brace or not. And not all surgeons like braces, depending on the surgery that you have had, you might not need a brace. So just be prepared and maybe ask your surgeon before, am I gonna have a brace after surgery, so that you can mentally prepare yourself for that. Now that's a really, really important thing, because I was so reliant on my brace previously that I couldn't walk without it, literally. So to not have a brace after surgery, but expect to have one, that was a shock. That was tough. So I was asked to stand up after crying loads. How do I do it? I can't. I honestly didn't believe that I could put weight on my foot. I didn't believe it. I just did not believe that I could stand with weight. So I had to get the surgeon to confirm that I could walk. He was like, yeah, you can. And I was like, but I haven't got a brace. He was like, you don't need one. I was like, I do. And honestly, you don't. So I stood up, and the best piece of advice I was ever told was to get my heel down straight away. Walk heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. This would encourage the movement in my knee instantly, and every physio that I spoke to said to do this. The first thing you do, get your heel down. Once you've done that once, you can do it again and again and again. And it hurt like nobody's business, but I got my heel down, and that was an achievement. So I was walking with crutches, and they teach you how to walk again. My advice would be after surgery is that you don't necessarily need a brace, and maybe check that before, and walk with your heel down, and that's just going to do your leg a world of good, particularly when you're moving forward with the rehab side of things. The first time you stand up and the blood rushes to your leg, that hurts. Just prepare yourself for that too. I would recommend for the first week that you focus on getting your heel down every time you walk, even if it's just to the toilet or to the kitchen, like from one sofa to another. Get your heel down as much as possible. This is seriously gonna aid you moving forward with your rehab in the future. You'll be told this by your medical professions anyway, but I feel the exercises for the first week that were best for me were the rolling the towel up and putting them underneath my knee and underneath my ankle, and pushing down and squeezing upwards, engaging the hamstring and the quadriceps. That was probably the best exercise for me in reflection between surgery and 1 week. I do feel like this has been a little bit of a doom and gloom video, but I'm trying to make it realistic and prepare people for the realities of knee surgery. If you do have any questions, please just comment and I will get back to every single one of you. You will be okay, and surgery is a good thing, but I want you to have the best possible experience, because my road was a bit rough, so I'm trying to do my little bit to the small percentage of those with ACL injuries. If you do like these videos, please do like and subscribe, that would be really appreciated, and you can also follow me on TikTok, Instagram and Twitter. Thanks for watching, bye! See you soon.